On April 8th, I was about to race on round number 4 in the GLS Gold category, but a few hours earlier, Zizou told us that they invited us to compete a league race, but I decided to participate in it, even though I had a race to do at 8:45 p.m. my local time. Fortunately, the race was at 7 p.m. which was on Baku, but still I would have to compromise lots of time that I could have used to practice for round, and instead I had to practice a little bit for these 2 races. I decided to participate in it, which was in an hour, so I did not have much time either. Still, I managed to set a decent time in beginning qualifying, and honestly, I was predicting that thing because a few weeks prior to that, I did practice a lot of Baku as an SRX task from it, but later I set better laps, and at the end I set the time of 1:38.586, which for now places me to P7, and looks like I am gonna qualify in that position. Everybody else already set a lap time, and we see that Websire got pole with a time of 1:37.903, followed by then San with a time of 1:38.19, and then my teammate Bademx with a time of 1:38.28. Websire is the only one who set the time of sub 1:38. The rest, well, were too slow to set the time. We see that only 16 participated in qualifying, and Vega was the only one who did not set any lap times. Hopefully I can go a bit well in the race. At least I can maintain my 7th position as an objective for the race result. Originally I was gonna start on hard and with 54.2 kilograms of fuel, but I at the last moment decided to switch to mediums after seeing that some drivers decided to start on that same compound, and we are underway, and hopefully I get into the first corner without any damages, and I almost did not do that thing. Unfortunately, I dropped down a place, and I might drop down another place as well into turn 2, and I'm wheel to wheel with Casanova, who's starting on hards, and I am deploying my veteran to hop lap, but still I get overtaken into turn 3. Hopefully I can re-overtake them, and I did overtake Casanova, ending lap 3, and I did overtake him previously on lap 2, but I got re-overtaken at the end of it. Hopefully I don't get re-overtaken once again, and on this time I could maintain my P8 until the virtual safety car. And I decided to do a cheap pit stop for cards, but honestly I think I boxed too early at that time, and fortunately it's the hard compound, so I trust that this will endure 21 laps and still not wear badly. I was seeing in the race director that lots of drivers are on hards, but maybe it is because they have started on that compound that I almost exceeded the delta time, and if I was exceeding it, I would have a drive-through penalty, which equals to like 25-second time penalty, 20-second time penalty, something like that, and that's horrible. Fortunately I did not have that. That cannot set for an MLC driver that is in P11 right now. I dropped down to P9 after that pit stop, but hopefully I can get back these positions and maybe get an advantage after that virtual safety car that may be saving it like 10 seconds, something like that. But it's Baku, and of course there has to be a full course safety car. The first one being on lap 7. Looks like nobody has retired from the race, so it wasn't a huge crash, but still a crash huge enough to deploy a full course safety car. Salmon Hearts, I will stay out, and by the end of it I got up into 6th position, and in the safety car relaunch I was a bit too far away from the front, but I did it kinda on purpose because it's gonna be a bit chaotic, and I was right. A driver was serving his drive-through penalty, and I am already right behind Sexify. And I head into turn 3, and I decided to not try to overtake him, and looks like he's getting a little bit squishier. And I hit this curb into turn 4, and oof, Casanova tries to overtake me around the outside, and oh my god, I thought for a moment that he was actually going to execute it, but fortunately and kind of predictably he couldn't, and we head into this tight wall section, and I am still right behind these drivers that are in front of me, so it's so good. On lap 13 I got up into P5 because Websire had to pit to serve his drive-through penalty, and he retired from the race, and that deployed another full course safety car. And once again I'm going to stay out. I have 3% of tire wear, 4% in the rears, so it's all good for me. Hopefully I gain some positions, or maybe not. Maybe some drivers will actually stay out, the ones that are in front of me, and looks like the answer is yes. Everyone stayed out, at least the ones that are in front of me. Later on I checked the race director, and I saw that everybody has done a pit stop, and the safety car relaunch came on lap 16, and Chenzo overtook me down the inside into turn 1 in such an effortless way. Damn, I'm such a defenseless person. Well, I gotta try to maintain my 6th position and not being overtaken by lots of more drivers later, and well, the reason is because he's on mediums. Chenzo's on mediums, so he might actually have more grip than me. And as I head into turn 5, looks like I am getting far away from the ones that are in front of me. It's not as chaotic as it was as the first safety car relaunch, and Ricardito is also a medium tire runner, so he might also overtake me, so I gotta keep an eye on him, although sometimes I don't do that thing, which is something bad. Meanwhile, I head into the final chicane, and Chenzo made contact with Sexify, and as I head into the last proper corner, I am seeing that Gatito is out of the race, and that deployed a 3rd safety car, and I was actually about to box for new sets of mediums or maybe for softs, but I decided to stay out because I saw that everybody else did. Looks like Gatito crashed into the tight castle section, so yeah, he's stupid like Charles Leclerc. Well, I'm gonna stay in P6. Let's see how it goes in the safety car relaunch, which is on lap 18, beginning lap 19, and Ooh, Ricardito was trying to overtake me around the outside into turn 1, and I'm still wheel to wheel, and I will overtake him into turn 2. But no, I'm still wheel to wheel with him, and he's on mediums. Hopefully his tires are worn out, because my hearts last forever and I could actually defend my 6th position. But on the next lap, Casanova approaches me once again, and he makes a switch back and tries to overtake me around the outside into turn 4, and I lock my brakes on my rear brakes, and I have lots of oversteer, and I get overtaken by him and Gael. So it was such a disastrous mistake that I have done. And also Gael is on softs, and wow, I was trying to defend from Casanova and it went pretty badly. At least I did not end up with damages, but well, I am doing pretty badly, and if I continue to do this ridiculousness, Ricardito is gonna actually overtake me, which he did on lap 21 to begin lap 22. And look at the gap that it was forming. Now we were getting far away from the front, and we were only 12 remaining. I don't know if I can overtake Ricardito, but the thing is that I'm nearing last, 9th out of 12. But Ricardito made a mistake, and that made me a chance to actually fight for 8th, and I'm pretty close behind him, so I gotta wait a little bit until that big stretch so I can actually have the chance to overtake him. But that actually took me a lap and something to actually overtake him into turn 1, but still he hasn't given up, because he was almost wheel to wheel with me exiting the first corner, and I was struggling a little bit with grip, and looks like an NCR driver was also joining the fight for 8th position, and Ricardito almost overtook me down the inside into turn 3. Fortunately, I had better traction than him, and it's gonna be a pretty tough fight. Meanwhile, I am still in P8, a bit anxious about how it will go in the big stretch ending lap 24, and I ran a bit deep into turn 7, and Dago is out of the race, and wow, that is such a ridiculous part to be tired from the race, to crash, and that means that I get a free position for me. So now I am up into P7, and Dago actually retired from the race, and I don't know why he decided to do that if he wasn't in last. Oh my god, we are now 10 drivers remaining, so if I finish I will still get points, but still 7th place is 6 points, and that's pretty good. Meanwhile, Ricardito is trying to overtake me. He's waiting and he's waiting and he's waiting and he's getting DRS. Oh my god, I'm gonna lose the fight. Oh, that's gonna be so stressful. And now, oof, I get overtaken by that NCR driver. Now down to penultimate position, and if it gets so tight, Beto can actually join the fight, and that could make me relegate me down to last. Oh my god, oh my god, this is lap 25, and the NCR driver overtook Ricardito, so this is gonna be a pretty tough fight heading into the final lap. But actually wasn't that much stressing. I overtook Ricardito in the back stretch on lap 25 pretty early on that stretch, and that NCR driver had crashed and damaged his front wing a little bit, so it is a little bit my chances, and also he's run out of ERS, but MX won the race, my teammate, so I must overtake him in order to finish in P7 and not in P8, and I get DRS. And even without DRS, I overtook that NCR driver, and also Beto joined the fight, but he went too late because I finished in P7. Honestly, it was a fight that I had to do. Man, I wasn't expecting to fight for P7 out of 10 drivers. Oh my god, Ricardito finishing last. But if there was one more lap, Beto was actually going to join the fight for P7 and could have actually overtook me and placed me down to P8. Oh my god. Well, after that I decided to wait until it was 8:45 p.m. in order to join the lobby for the 4th round of GLS Gold category. But before we head into the 4th round, let's have a quick look about the championship. Faster is leading it with 133 points and also tied with Andres Sanchez for 2nd, and Valiant is in 3rd with 113 points. First Killer and Spectre is also tied with points with 108. Meanwhile, myself is in 9th with 71 points. And in the constructors, McLaren is leading the championship with 246 points and Sauber's in 2nd with 216. Meanwhile, my team is down in 5th with 126 points. The one that is in last is Mercedes with 21 points. Now in qualifying, at my first lap I set a 128.6, and on my second lap I was improving a lot, and in fact I have set the fastest sector 2 for now, and I improved 4 tenths and set a time of 127.768, which for now placed me into 4th position. But unfortunately, that was the final time that I have set, because I was warming up a little bit for my 3rd and final hot lap, but I pressed too much the throttle and spun out and crashed and damaged my front wing, and so I had to abort my lap and didn't set another time. Still, I managed to qualify in P6, and we see that Andres Sanchez qualified on pole with a time of 127.171. Faster qualified in 2nd and avoided a front row lockout for McLaren because Biden qualified in 3rd. My teammate Ismail qualified in last with a time of 129.9. Oh my god, like, I don't know if he didn't even set a proper lap time. Meanwhile, we see that Pesh got a 5 position grid penalty, so he'll actually start in last, not my teammate. Hopefully my teammate can come back, but most importantly, I finish in the top 5 at least. Now we are about to start the race, and I'm starting on mediums, and I think I forgot to remove a bit of fuel because I was doing that thing on the last minute, and we are underway, and looks like I have still much fuel remaining, but I don't know, maybe that's enough. And we head into turn 1. Fortunately, it isn't as chaotic as I was expecting a little bit, but still I have dropped my position. Front shot started on softs, and meanwhile I have escaped from these 3 corners without any damages, so that's a bit of a win. But laps passed and I was still in P7 right behind the ones that are in front, and looks like they are battling so hard, and that makes us lose a bit of of range from the top two, and oh my god! Oh boy! Oh my god, I almost have a disastrous accident. Although yeah, I dropped down to P10 because of that. Oh my god, no, yeah, that's still a bit disastrous for us because I had to go wide. Oh, let's have a replay because that was too fast. So at turn 13, we see that Valiant went to the inside and made contact with Franshot, but they both spun, and Valiant was the one who spun the worst. And well, despite him saving a little bit, I saw that Sauber crashed. So he could have been me. And that could have ended up much worse, and having to pit for a front wing repair, or much worse, having my suspension torn out and being out of the race. Although yeah, me having to go wide made me lose 3 positions, and that's such a terrible thing. Despite that, I managed to get up 2 positions, but the reason was because these 2 drivers boxed in the next few laps. Pit window was going to start soon, and on lap 8 I had a reminder that I had to box because I almost spun exiting turn 11. And Valiant almost sent me into the wall. Although yeah, I lost more seconds because of it, which was more frustrating. It could have been worse. He could have sent me into a wall and damaged my front wing, or even DNF me. So well, at least we still have chances to finish in a high position, but that chances are gonna drop down to 0. And it went down to 0. So this is lap 11, and the racer boxed just a few moments ago for hards, and currently he has a 3-second time penalty, and the gap is less than 3 seconds. So I'm wobbling in between P11 and P10, and Valiant's gap between him and myself was around 2 seconds after I boxed, but I don't know, maybe he's going pretty fast, faster than me, and I'm doing some mistakes, and I am getting further and further away from him, and maybe also because he's fast, because he overtook Racer and he got up into P9. Hopefully I also overtake Racer. And laps passed, then I was slowly coming back a little bit, because now the gap between him and myself dropped down to less than 2 seconds. But then Tano comes, and I was also catching him, but he was going a bit annoying with me. Like, he was rocket shipping in straight lines and was a bit slow on the curves, and that meant that I was losing a little bit against Racer, and I was overtaking him and getting overtaken by him, and then we overtaken, and so on for lots of laps. Now the gap was starting to form between Racer and myself, and now I was officially in P10. And on lap 20 I overtake Tano for like the 10th time, and Valiant is out of the race, so that means that I get the free position and I get up in P8, and that might be the position that I will finish in the race if all goes well between Tano and myself. And I could finish in P7 if I'm fast enough to be less than 3 seconds behind Racer, but sadly looks like it is getting impossible, and he's going pretty fast. Fortunately, he got another 3-second time penalty, and on lap 27 I was planning to get overtaken by Tano so I can re-overtake him by the end of lap 28 to begin lap 29, and so I'm on the big stretch to begin lap 28. Oh no, Tano is not overtaking me. No, my plan has ruined. Oh my god, I need to pray that I don't get overtaken by him on the final lap. But I was stupid and I decided to let him pass. And I don't know why. Why did I think that I had another chance to overtake him in just a few corners in this final lap? Like, I could have deployed all my ERS and could have maintained my P8. But no. Oh my god, I'm so stupid. I'm so stupid. And I was trying to harvest a bit of ERS while I was trying to still be right behind Tano. But that did not work because he was a bit faster than me in the straights, and so I could not overtake Tano, even though I had like the entirety of the stint on hard, like 20 laps, and I couldn't overtake him. Like, I'm so slow. Still, I managed to finish in P8 because Racer, well, had that 6 seconds of penalties accumulated and was less than 6 seconds ahead of me. But still, like, I'm so stupid, like. Damn. 8 days later, the league owner showed us how it went after this round, and we see that Andres Sanchez is the one that is leading the championship right now with 173 points, and Faster is in second with 3 less points. Spectre is in third with 151 points, and First Killer is in fourth with 127 points. Meanwhile, I am still in ninth, this time with 96 points, 3 points behind Pesh, and my teammate Ismael is in 11th with 70 points. And meanwhile, in the constructors, McLaren is still leading the championship with 286 points, and Sauber is still in second. Meanwhile, my team Alpine is still in fifth with 166 points, and the one that is in last is now Racing Bulls with 50 points. Well, I think I should regret a little bit on participating that race in Baku, and instead I should have invested more time practicing for the race in Bahrain, but well, hope I go well in this time in Saudi Arabia, which is round number 5. See ya there. Goodbye.